There we go. Recording. Joy. Well, so, some interesting stuff has happened. Oh wait, I should introduce myself first. Okay. I am your host, as always, the archivist, and with me is...
I'm Ken.
He's Ken now.
Yeah.
And, some crazy shit's going on in the media. I just gotta comment on, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because, okay, first off, in a drama, isn't the exciting innocence supposed to be a form of illogicness?
Illogicness.
Somebody has to do something stupid in order for the movie to start. Isn't that most times in drama, in certain dramas, or genres, or genres?
They're called genres, and people do exclusively stupid things. Like, the reason that we think they're so stupid in movies is because we've seen the movie they didn't. Like, we like to say, oh, they should have known better. No one can have known better than they knew. That's not a possible thing.
Well, you mean the movie that we're watching currently, or the movie that we saw back from 20 years ago when we saw it the first time?
Either. Like, it's the same thing. It's and just because you saw that movie doesn't mean you don't make all those same mistakes. You do. You're a person.
Yes.
So, obviously, that's got nothing to do with it. Like, the whole, like, oh, you know, the horror movie thing, horror movies are written, they're easy to sell, they're cheap to make. So people who have no talent make a lot of horror movies, and they actually go places where you can see them. Yes, there's a lot of dumb stuff that happens in horror movies, but the stereotype of, oh, why'd she run upstairs? She ran upstairs because there was scary stuff downstairs. Like,
and don't drop the scissors. And don't drop the knitting needle. Like, damn it, why do you keep doing that?
No, sometimes that's clearly contrived, and it's just, why did that happen? But there's something foolish in the audience ascribing that to the stupidity of a kind of character in a movie. That character isn't a real thing. Like, and there was no character that was in all of those movies, right? We average it out, and it's dumb. But
we get to mock it in an actually pretty good film of the Scream series. It was actually pretty good. You know, they said, well, some big-breasted girl running upstairs, which she should be running out the front door. Then what does she do? She runs upstairs.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
But that shows, like, well, yes, we, the audience, say, stupid person, don't do that. Yeah. What would we do? Do the same thing.
Well, and it's also one of the weird sides of, I mean, people go to movies to not exclusively, but a big thing that we do with movies is we go to empathize with the hero, to be punishing of the villain, and to look at all the people who are made fun of and say, that's not me. But it is. And, you know, it's like, ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean, you go to a movie, and it's like, stupid, arrogant, rich people, stupid, poor, black people, like, everyone that you just get to say, that's not me. And, but yeah.
But the one thing I'm sick and tired of is lead girls being just beautiful. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, they're strong, independent characters. Fine. Whatever. They can sing. Beautiful. Whatever. That's just more icing on the cake. The one thing that just it's like a javelin stabbed in the back. That's how much it just pisses me off. Is that, okay, now I'm going to sound like a total guy, but it's just the lack of variety we have physically with characters. Okay, yes, I'm going to sound like a guy. Women, just take a second here. Just hear me out. Just hear me out with this. Okay. Every single character, lead female character, is beautiful, by the end of the film, capable, you know, good, strong character, but none of them, not a one, and believe me, I've seen a lot of lead female characters, do not have anything over an A cup. Never. It just doesn't exist. I'm thinking to myself, well, why do they keep, like, sticking to that cookie cutter type physical form? Other physical forms do appear, you know, but everyone keeps shying away from, oh no, it doesn't exist. And it's like, yeah, it does. You try to showcase certain characters. You still stick to a certain small number of characters, but at least it's a variety. But only one character, the lead female character, looks a certain way. She never looks any other type. If there was a lead, I saw this one character.
Wait,
let me finish this.
Okay.
I saw this one character in a Powerpuff Girls episode. She was, I think, one of the classmates. I think she was only showcased once. But it was this episode where Mojo Jojo somehow copies Chemical X or something and temporarily gives the powers to the classmates. And one of the classmates, I'm not sure if this was special ed or not, or just the kids that just happened to be there. But one of them was this obese girl in a wheelchair. And they had all these powers, they could fly and stuff. And they said, well, if you want more, you have to defeat the Powerpuff Girls. So they kind of reluctantly have to defeat the Powerpuff Girls. Then at the end of the episode, when they defeat the Powerpuff Girls, they realize, we can't really do this. We should give back, the power we have to the Powerpuff Girls in order for them to save the day.
Yeah.
And when they do, they sacrifice it and they give it back. It's like, there. See? There's a strong sense of character. And what is she? She's obese and she's in a wheelchair. It's like, there's something. That's something different right there. It's like, if someone made that a lead character with that kind of heart, there's something to be interesting. Because it's different.
No, like it's funny. You were running with... I was going to say, like, your problem with the fact that there's a cookie cutter female lead is that their boobs aren't big enough. It's funny.
And, okay, so I wanted to ask, what was the second thought you had about my comment about the lead character's looks again? Because you said you had one thought, and then you kind of skipped over the second thought. Remember, I was telling you how the lead character, the female form is always basically the same.
Oh no, I did say it. It was that the point you were the most passionate about was that their boobs aren't big enough, as opposed to the fact that there's many different kinds of females, all of which could be interesting main characters, and we only see 2 or 3. It is interesting. You could analyze this and come up with some pretty interesting answers. I think we as a society, the way things work, we find boobs super distracting, especially big ones that move around, and more distracting than is rational, actually, considering how many big boobs move around in real life. And but we're all distracted by it, which means that characters who are busty, that's cinematic shorthand for sexualization.
And we can't have that for the kids show, for the kiddies.
Well, no, it's not that. It's that if the point isn't sexualization, don't over-sexualize a character. And I think that what we'd be better off is just taking a few punches and, like, not over-sexualizing them.
Okay.
But I understand why Slender works in all clothing. Slender is athletic. Slender reminds you of young. There's a reason. There are many reasons, but part of it is just that, like, we freak out when there's boobs.
Okay, here's one. This is actually in Disney, by the way. So, and people should know this, that there's like 2, is it 2? Yeah, two of the Disney princesses actually are pretty curvy and actually have more than an 8 cup. No, sorry, 3. Jasmine, Ariel, and Belle. Well, Belle's fashion hides it, but when she's in the dress, she kind of looks a lot more attractive.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have 3 Disney princesses who are strong leading characters. These are characters that more or less, for young girls to idolize. Yeah, they're strong. They're strong. Okay, Ariel's more of the hothead of the group, but Jasmine is a bit more logical. She's a bit more thought out, ish, just barely. She's a little bit less.
That's not relevant. We're talking about female body types.
Yes.
So,
but the thing is, they're not distracting. They're a lot more attractive than any of the other past or present Disney princesses.
But that was the style at the time, because they're all from the same era. That was the average body type that all the characters had at that time.
From 1940, was it? 1940 from Snow White?
Oh, no, Snow White, but that was a different era where that was also kind of cool.
Okay, so from 1940 until 2015.
No, I'm talking about like how is... You said Belle, Ariel, and Jasmine are right there.
Yes.
They're all the same time. That's one period. Also, no, but so is, what's her face? Rose.
Rose?
Aurora. She's busty. She's just super trim-waisted. She's got almost pointy breasts in
Oh.
profile.
Oh, right.
From Sleeping Beauty. And that's also, again, it was the style at the time. The real problem is that all of these are idealized
Women.
female forms. And there's nothing, it's not that that there's an idealization, it's that the idealization is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. It's all that there is. And that's the problem. It's bland, first off. Like, if you're just looking to be entertained, it's kind of boring. It cuts off avenues of possible female characters and actors for roles, which is a problem because then talented and interesting people and ideas are cast aside. And then the other thing, of course, is what everyone talks about with the beauty magazines and stuff is the cookie cutter form that's put on all girls, and the ones that don't fit it feel bad.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, not so much now, or for the last 2 decades, really, but the convenient thing about skinny for young girls is that most young girls were skinny. Now, that's still true, but only barely. And so that's also kind of a bummer.
But I'm just curious as to if that was such a narrow niche. I don't know why I keep saying that for some strange reason. That's right, because you said it. Is that if that's the style at the time, but there are different times long before and now getting longer after.
Yeah.
Well, is any of that trend ever going to come back? Because I just seen this trend. It's like they're just staying with that small cup body type again. Like I've seen everywhere else outside of Disney, and it's like, are they ever going to swing back to something a bit different at all? Ever?
Well, there are always little changes. Nothing stays the same. There are always little changes. Your only marker's boobs, though. Like, that's the only thing that you're
It just feels like it's like they're just not really changing the body type, and it's like thin, got it. Okay, next one, thin, got it. Next one, thin. It's like, oh, African American. Okay, next, but still thin.
African-American's
and
not
still
body
thin,
type.
and still thin. It's like, well, they're trying. Next, thin. Okay, I get it. They're thin. Anybody else?
Well, no, but they've all been thin.
Yes, but it's just.
No, but that's because we have money and access to food. We're not starving, therefore thin is beautiful.
It's just
when we're starving, there's only a few rich people. Fat is beautiful.
It's like there's just not a whole lot of variety. It's like they don't have. It's just that it's same body type. Late 80s, early 90s, and then same body type just came before that. And it's like, shouldn't it be a bit more, random, a bit more, spread out?
No. Like
it just
there
feels
are trends, and you'll see more trends in clothes on these characters than you will in body type.
Yeah, and it just feels like you're not really changing the body type at all, because there are different types of people, and it's like.
Well, now wait a minute, but Marianne from this had a very different body type from most of the Disney characters. She was far less curvy. That's a major swing.
Yes, I liked her design.
And part of that's because she's a fairy, so they wanted to make her.
Yeah, fairy type.
But did you see How to Train Your Dragon?
No, I made sure to stay clear of that.
How to Train Your Dragon's great, and the second one is good too.
Sorry, I don't do obvious storylines.
Yes, you do. You love obvious storylines.
No, I don't do obvious storylines that annoy the ever-loving hell out of me. Let's put it that way.
Right, like.
What, you want me to showcase one?
No, but like, what about this one bothers you?
Let's see here. Standardization of weaky, guy, son, so makes him prince because he's the son of the leader.
Right.
He's weak, while everyone else has manliness.
Right.
And so he's the compassionate one. So he's the understanding one. And Shocker on Shock Street. I like saying that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's like, oh yeah, girl. Yeah, I like girl. But I'm not going to tell girl that I like her, for like possibly the entire film. And that maybe they kiss, but I kind of don't give a damn because it's like, I don't like you.
The movie's not about
that. Because it's not about that. It's about training your dragon. So it's like, it's a boy and his dragon. Gee, that makes me feel like wanting to go see that even more. I don't care about a boy training his dragon.
Oh, no, that's right. Everything you want to see is making out. I got it.
That'd be nice. But the thing is that if it's just about How to Train Your Dragon. It's like,
Well, it's not.
it's like, look, I come to a story to see lots of bits of other stuff. Train Your Dragon, fine, but have more than that.
There's a lot more than that.
You know, well, then they should showcase that it has a lot more than that, because all I've seen is the boy training his dragon. That's it.
No, but that's what, like
I said, trailers
so
only convey only so much, but if they don't showcase more than just this little bit of this one note thing or theme, then it doesn't seem all that interesting to me if it's not a theme I'm into.
Now, I actually don't remember the trailers for How to Train Your Dragon at all. I only saw it because my animation friends liked it, right? Like it's like, oh well, that works for me.
Well, I saw the end. I saw like about the end or whatever, and it just does not compel me, because the boy has to prove himself to his father that his capacity for heart is a valued thing. That it is.
Well, it's actually more about the system. It's a much more, I won't say political, that's not accurate, but it's much more actually about social structure than just about heart. There is some of that, but again, like, that's the part you're cheering at in almost every movie we go to that you like, is when heart wins. So I'm surprised that's what you're not interested in. But
it's a boy and his dog story. That's it.
It's not just that. It's a boy and his dog story if the dog is the hated, terrifying enemy. It's a boy and his werewolf story.
Okay, a boy
which is
and
different, and it's like if you like the CG movies that oftentimes have a lot of clever visuals, they oftentimes crib certain types of people, certain types of animals, certain types of behaviors. It's a big thing in, like, that's why people like Up, right? Is there certain behaviors portrayed and represented?
Yes.
And
okay, the reason why I like Wreck-It Ralph is because Wreck-It Ralph has a lot of interesting characters and dynamics between those characters. We see the buddy friends.
It has
we have
two interesting dynamics and one interesting idea in terms of dynamics. Like the actual relationship between Ralph and Fix-It Felix is not covered much, but the idea is so compelling.
Yeah.
And then the girl he takes under his wing that annoys him, but then he feels bad, so then he tries to help her, which is pretty standard. But there's that, and also she happens to be the MacGuffin, which comes out of nowhere. And then there's the supporting cast, which has a few interesting interactions. I think that
the girl from Metal Gear or whatever.
Yeah, plot. Well, she's not from actually any real video games. So plot-wise, I'm not nuts about Wreck-It Ralph, but the characters are all really cool. Like that's a lot of fun. I didn't find Wreck-It Ralph satisfying, but I found it deeply entertaining.
I found it entertaining, and by the end, deeply satisfying. Because because it had a little bits of everything. That's what I'm trying to go for here. Is that it had the buddy friends, it had the romance on the side, it had the story structure of figuring out each world.
Why does the romance on the side matter?
Because it's nice to have a side of romance.
Why?
When it's not pivotal, when it's not like the central thing. Because it's nice to know that a story is well-rounded, or at least close to well-rounded.
But that's not well-rounded story. That's just.
It just, to me, it feels.
It's token romance.
Well, to me, it does not feel like token romance. It feels like.
By the way, I like that part of Wreck-It Ralph. It's just generally, I think, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so you know my view on your view of romance in movies.
Yes.
You're looking for it too much. I'm actually surprised. I don't know. It's
because there is no romance in my life, so I live vicariously through other characters. There, I am thus I'm thus shanked. Therefore, now moving on.
But even then, wouldn't you actually be interested then in, rather than movies that have everything? Wouldn't you? I mean, doesn't that separate somewhat? Wouldn't you rather see a cute romance?
Yes.
That's inoffensive and just like satisfies that, scratches that itch, and then move on to a movie that's actually about what it's about?
Yes.
Because there's so many movies that are not about romance that have way too much romance in them. And there's a lot of movies that are about action, and they've got all this scary stuff that doesn't really fit. And I'm not saying it can't have those things. It's just that oftentimes it's like there was another movie they kind of wanted to make, or they felt they had to hit a certain audience that isn't really who the movie's made for. romance is not what you're getting in How to Train Your Dragon.
No, not at all.
But the relationship between Toothless and Hiccup is good. The Vikings are great. The dragons are cool. And the end is basically a dogfight. It's a pretty cool movie. I mean, you know, as far as that kind of movie goes. I'm going to start driving, by the way.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to head out soon.
All right. Okay, let me just save up this because, you know, I'm a guy. If you look closely at the villain meeting, the AA meeting with the villains, if you look closely in the corner, I think they shot this and edited this on purpose. Because there's one character in the corner who has like 3 seconds of screen time. And she's... Well, actually... she's like some sort of demon girl.
I actually don't know who that is. Only character I didn't recognize in the whole movie.
Me neither. And, you know, because these are all copyrighted characters.
Yeah.
Even Sonic, who's not, who's like barely even in it.
What's she from? Is she from Gauntlet? Is she from that one where you're the master of the dungeon? Is she from? What's she from? I couldn't. You might want to grab that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, she is the most sexually exaggerated character in the whole movie, and she only has like 3 seconds of screen time. She has even less screen time than Sonic, and I'm thinking to myself like, that's very interesting. But then it was satisfying because that Solid Gear girl was in it, and it's like, yeah, I feel better.
So
because then if I just want to stuck with...
So cartoon characters do it for you. Okay.
As long as they're good characters.
No, I mean like just like, oh, this cartoon character is sexy. That does. See, I've never been able to really get much out of that.
Out of that or out of me? Out of that.
No, just me.
Okay.
I've never.
I like a good pick. Whatever. You know, if it's a good picture, you know, good cartoon picture, then yeah, I like it.
It is funny. It's like
dude, I'm a brony. How much? It's like, is that really that surprising?
Oh, so what you're saying is that to be a brony, you fundamentally have to be sexually attracted to the
characters.
Bronies?
Characters.
That's what I'm talking. No, but enjoying a character, you can enjoy any kind of character. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that actually, like in Fix It Felix style imagery, those boobs work for you.
Yes.
Okay, that's different. That's not characters. Because characters are characters. Like I like all kinds of characters. I like characters that are realistic. I like characters that are unrealistic. But
and she was sympathetic too. You could see the hard shell military side, but you can kind of see like, oh, where is that all coming from? Oh, she's suffering from a broken heart. It's like, see, there's backstory. There's character development there.
Well, I mean, it's mostly just hilarious, but yes.
Yeah. And you know, and to have her have some sexuality, have her look like a woman, you know, and not just like what we just saw. If she was more like what we just saw, I would be more annoyed with Wreck-It Ralph.
But there are women who look more like what we just saw than like the woman from Wreck-It Ralph.
I know, but it's just that it's so rare. And it's finally someone who actually has big boobs. I find that attractive. Something different for once. You know, instead of just the same old. And she has good character. And it's like, finally, something that's attractive on all fronts.
On all fronts.
I like her. I liked her backstory. I liked her character. I understood because I understood where it came from. I liked her physical appeal. You know, and so it's like finally something different, something that's appealing. You know, it's nice to have a character that's appealing.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. If there's a woman in a movie, you want her to be hot because she's there for you to masturbate to. I get it. I'm playing with it.
I have spicy tuna here. I'm not afraid to use it. No. I will take command of this car if I have to.
It's just you're ranking that high. You got more passion on that than I understand. That's all.
I'm a lonely guy. What the hell is there left to understand?
I know other lonely guys. They process it differently. I do know other lonely guys that process it the same. And I know guys who aren't lonely that process it the same. So obviously this is broader than just that.
But you should know me.
No,
me and my methods.
No, I know you and your methods. It's still interesting because how much these things are valued does change with time, with you.